of a of a data analyst, or what exactly is this? So you're going to be diving into this section, and trust me, it's going to be a wonderful section, and you will all enjoy this section. All right. So before I go ahead to share my screen, if you're excited to be in this section, just give me a thumbs up. Flood my screens with thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you're excited to be in this section. All right. I am excited. I am excited. All right. Nadine is excited. I definitely, yeah, sure. Jolly is excited. Let's keep it coming, guys. Let's keep it coming, guys. Let's keep it coming, guys. Awesome. Great one. Great one. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, so I'm going to go straight down to sharing my screen so we see what we have for today's section. All right. So today, like I said, you're going to be diving into a topic, a very interesting topic around business analysis and data analysis. So before we go ahead, you would like to introduce ourselves. I will introduce myself, introduce the company, so you get to know who I am and who your facilitator is for tonight. Awesome. So confirm if you are seeing my screen. If you are seeing my screen, please confirm. Yeah. If you are seeing my screen, please confirm by sending me on the chat board. All right. Great one. So like I said, today's section is going to be a wonderful section because you know who a business analyst is and who a data analyst is. And you are not going to stop right there. What they do, the skills, and the career path for you. So today's section, this is who I am. I am Joshua Akinola, a senior data analyst here in Analytics. And I've been in this industry for like half a decade now. And as a data analyst and also a data scientist. And I have professional skills in tools like Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, machine learning frameworks, and the likes. So my background actually reflects a strong passion for data-driven solutions, problem solving, and empowering others through tech. So, and here in Analytics, as a senior data analyst associate, I've mentored and trained over 200 aspiring tech professionals across Nigeria, UK, United States of America, Canada, and even beyond. And I have hands-on experience across EdTech, public sector analytics, and learning communities, using data to drive insights and build dashboard and support decision making. All right. So I have here also about my facility. I'm not the only one that's going to be facilitating this section. I also have my colleague here, Priscilla Fanama. Priscilla is a passionate educator, a data expert, and a career strategist. She's going to be coming up right after I'm done to continue the session. So close to have a decade years experience in the world of blockchain technology and data analytics, and also as a growth catalyst at Analytics, she has been instrumental in helping individuals navigate the complex tech landscape, guiding them in choosing the right career path. Wow, that's awesome. Onboarding them into data-driven paths and providing the support they need to land their first job. So our expertise spans freelance data analyst, crypto educator, technical support personnel, and even tech career coach. Wow, she has a very big, with a strong commitment to career transformation. Priscilla has successfully onboarded and mentored over 500 individuals, helping them transition seamlessly into tech and secure meaningful job opportunities. So this is who Priscilla is, Fanama, and she's definitely going to take over this section after I'm done. And you can see with this large portfolio, trust me, you have the right person for you in this section. All right, you can connect with her on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or even Instagram. So, what are we going to be doing today? Four things. Four things. First off, we want to talk about business analysis, data analysis, what it means to be a business and a data analyst, and also the pathway to becoming a business and also a data analyst. Then we have the Analytics Growth Internship Program and also our special discount offer to you. And now, let's jump right into it, because we want to look at what data analytics is, business analytics is, and how they both work. So before we go ahead, let's do a bit of introduction into the world of business and data analysis. So in today's data-driven organization, that word, mark that word, data-driven organization, two rules are essential for turning information into strategic advantage. And the first one is business analyst and also a data analyst. Those two roles, they are so essential for transforming information into strategic advantage. With both deals, their focus differs. Yeah, they both use data, but their focus, what? Their focus differs. A business analyst translates business need into actionable solution, which is like, wow. So the business actually has needs. So what are the actionable solution that can be what? That can be laid down for the business needs to be gotten. While a data analyst interprets data to uncover patterns, trends, and insights. Now, as we keep going, you see a whole lot of this thing. Another thing is that understanding the difference between the two roles is crucial for anyone planning a career in analytics, management, or technology. Now, business analyst versus data analyst, business analyst versus data analyst. So let's start from business analyst. Who is a business analyst? That should be the question ringing in our head now, because right now I'm so curious. I don't know about you. I know you're also curious. I am curious. I want to know who a business analyst is and who a data analyst is. So I'm going to have a better understanding about these two roles. Now, a business analyst is a professional who help an organization understand its business needs. That is one. Identify problems and find solutions. So a business analyst help organization. That means an organization is in need of a business analyst, no matter who or where the firm is, because every business has its own needs. So you need a business analyst to understand your business needs. Now, after that, identify the problem your business is facing. Because every business, there's actually something in business. You want to maximize profits and minimize loss. Every business wants to grow. You have competitors. You want to make sure that you keep being relevant in that field. So your business has needs. So for your needs to be met, we need to understand what the problems are and to find solutions to those problems. We need to understand what your needs are and how you and give you strategies on achieving those needs. So that is who a business analyst is. So they help organizations to understand the business needs, identify problems, and also find solutions, usually through improving processes, systems, or strategies. Also, they act as a bridge between business side and the technical side. That means the business side, like your stakeholders, it could be the managers, the users, the customers, and also the technical side, the IT developers or data team. Take for instance, you're trying to solve a problem, and you know that your end users or your stakeholders are your customers. So you know they understand the needs of the customers. They understand what the customer actually needs, and also they now stand as the bridge between the end user, who is the customer, and also the developer teams. So there's something called SDLS, Software Development Lifecycle. We have to what? Make sure that all of these things are being tailored. The app that is being developed, the solution that is being pronounced is well tailored to the needs of the customer. So that job of a business analyst, they stand between the stakeholders and the technical side. That thing is that their job is to make sure that all the business work is clearly understood and built correctly by the technical team. That's another role and another thing a business analyst does. They make sure that whatsoever the business wants, the business needs, is clearly understood. Not that the business needs to improve sales, Now they are now working on how to retain customers. Do you understand? So what is actually the business needs? What the business needs is what a business analyst will help the technical team to understand very well so they can build the right solution for it. So now I've actually talked about a few things a business analyst does. So if you have questions, you can always drop your question on the chat board. I'm actually tracking it, so I'll answer them. Okay, let's jump back into where we stopped. So what does a business analyst actually do? What does the business analyst do? So the first thing is that they understand the problem, the business problem. I've actually been emphasizing about this, understanding the business itself. The business analyst understands the business itself. And what does that mean? Like they discover how the company works, including its goals, its challenges, and processes. That's one of the responsibilities of a business analyst. And also, they identify problems. Sometimes business can actually be running, they might actually be having like, okay, the revenue they are generating per month is still okay, but not knowing that their processes are actually having some kind of defect, they slow, of which if they put on it, they will have more money, more revenue. And that is what a business analyst does. They help to what? Identify problems, find where processes are slow, costly, and inefficient. Another thing they do is that they gather requirements. Like I want to build a solution now. I'm working with the developer, but uh, they understand the the concerns, the needs of the users, the end users, the stakeholders. So they need to gather what requirements, what exactly they need. So that's another responsibility of a business analyst. Another thing is that they document solutions, like writing clear specification or business requirement document, like BRD for developers or project teams. And also, they collaborate with the technical team. In fact, they work with technical teams a lot because they are the bridge. Remember, the definition we said they are the bridge between what the technical team and the business owner or the stakeholders. So they will definitely keep working or keep collaborating with the technical teams. So they work with the IT or developers to ensure solutions matches business needs. Solutions are tailored to the business requirements. So another thing they do is that test and validate. Before we can actually give that final product, put it out there, they what? They test it, they test the product to ensure that it solves the problem. So guys, that is actually so interesting. The role of a business analyst, so interesting. And the last thing I put down here is that they support implementation. That is, help train users and monitor results after deployment. Because once a product or let's say solution is being deployed, you might not get to know how to use it at first. So you need to be guided through on how to use it. So they help to train users, monitor them afterwards, and even monitor the results after deployment. So what are the core skills of a business analyst? We've talked about who they already understand that they are the one that bridge the gap between the stakeholders and the technical team. So what are their core skills? What is the core skills of a business analyst? The first core skill of a business analyst is what? Analytical skills. Analytical skills. Like that it entails problem solving skills, critical thinking, and even data analysis. Yes, that is now where the data part comes in. Because we actually said something at the start of the slide that they both have something in common, which is that they both work with data. So a business analyst must be able to analyze data because it is the data that will tell you what happened. That's a descriptive analysis. And even go beyond knowing why that thing happened, then that is diagnostic analysis. Another thing is that business knowledge. That's another category of skills, like understanding the business models, the operations, and also the KPIs. KPI means key performance indicator. So they need to understand the business knowledge. So which is part of what they have to have in their portfolio as a skill. What about the technical skill? If you remember, in the analytical skill, we talked about them being able to analyze data. So when it comes to the point of analyzing data, that means there is a need for what? Technical skills. So what are the technical skills we're talking about here? A business analyst must be able to work with Excel, some basic SQL queries, then also Power BI and documentation tools. Because you need to analyze your data, like I said, to know what happened. That's in your historical data. Then know why it happened. Then after doing that, you need to document them or visualize them, which is part of what? Part of the core skills of a business analyst. Another one is communication skill. Oh, that is so needed as a business analyst, because how are you going to communicate your insights if you don't know how to speak? If you don't know how to speak, there's no way you can communicate your insights. So you need to develop a communication skills. You need to develop a communication skill because you are the one meeting with the stakeholders and also with the IT developers. So you have to make sure that you are giving them the right information, the right insight. You're communicating the right problem, the right solutions to them. So both teams know where they start. So it requires requirement gathering, stakeholders meeting, and presentation. Then another one is documentation skill. That's writing clear BRD. Clear BRD. Then user stories and process maps. Then the last skill is what? Project coordination. Project coordination. Like I've been saying, they work closely with developers. So they have to coordinate the project, working with developers, testers, and even business users. And these are the core skills of a data analyst, or sorry, a business analyst. So let's go forward and let's see the career path for a business analyst. I have 8 listed here. You have you can actually be a junior or associate business analyst. That's just the entry level role. You just focus on documenting requirements, supporting seniors, business analysts, and also learning business processes. Or you are a business analyst itself. That's the core. Like you work independently with stakeholders, you gather requirements, you improve process, and even support project delivery. Then also a senior business analyst. That's a step higher. That means you lead complex projects, you mentor junior analysts, and manage stakeholders communication at higher levels. You can either be either a product owner or you manage a product. Then you be a product owner or product manager. That's you transitioning to managing the life cycle of products from concept to delivery, ensuring they meet business goals. So all of these things, there's been a very silent thing that I've been talking about since the start of this section, is what? Understanding the business needs. That is very, very needed for you to be a business analyst. Also, we have business system analyst. Wow, these ones, they work closely with the IT. They translate business requirements to system specification and technical documentation. We also have project manager or program manager. We have business process consultant and also business architect or strategy analyst. So these are the career paths for a business analyst. Okay, let's go straight down to data analyst. We've been talking about business analysis, business analysts, they do this, they do that. So what about data analyst? If I'm actually saying all of these things about business analyst, what about data analyst? Who is a data analyst? What do they do? What is their core skills? What is the career path? Now, a data analyst, you're going to see the difference between a data analyst and a business analyst. Remember, a business analyst is the one that stands as the gap between the business owner or the stakeholders and the developers. Now, a data analyst now is a professional who collects, clean, analyze, and interpret data. to help organization make better or evidence-based decision or business decisions. So this is their job, or this is what they do. They collect, they cleanse, they analyze, and interpret data. Now, that means they work solely with data. They work with what? Data. After the business analyst has helped to identify the business problem or the problem statement, then a data analyst go further to collecting data that speaks to the business problem. And when you collect the data, every data comes in its raw state. Every data are in their raw state. And what do you mean by being in raw state is that you have a lot of dirty data. Some are not cleaned. You have so many, what's it called? Inadequacy in your data, so many inconsistency in your data. So what they do is that after collecting data, they clean it, because it has to be cleaned for you to have the right analysis, for you to have the exact thing that is actually wrong in your data set. So the data have to be cleaned before analysis can even start. Then after it has been cleaned, then you analyze the data, and after which you interpret your data. So everything you've done is that, data is actually a record. We call them historical record. So with this, it gives you insight about what actually happened in the past, which was recorded. And from there, after interpreting it, you get to know why those things happen. And it will help you and help the organization to make better and evidence-based business decisions. So if you're actually having a good result after your data set has been analyzed, okay, what can we do to improve this process that will maintain it or even get better at it? But after analyzing data sets, you realize that things are not going on well. We recommend solutions. What are the decisions that can be taken for us to have the right thing, for us to understand, for us to get for us to hit the target? And that's what a data analyst do. After collecting data, they clean it, analyze, and interpret the data set before you make decision. Another thing is that they transform raw numbers into actionable insights. Has it not? I don't know if some of us here have actually seen how chart looks like, how dashboard looks like. They all came from numbers, 1, 2, or text data. That they can either be categorical data or normal quantitative data being put together. And before you know it, you have visuals, you have charts, you have line charts showing trends, you have bar charts that's trying to compare different fields, you have compositional charts showing the percentage difference between different or. And this is what the business analyst does. They transform that number into what? Into something visually appealing, which helps what? To get insights and uncover patterns, trends, and relationship that explains what is happening and why. Yes, what is happening and why it's happening. That is descriptive and diagnostic analysis. Now, what does a data analyst does, or what they do? I've said it earlier, they collect data. So there are different sources whereby you can collect data depending on where the company store their data set. Some companies can store their data sets inside database, inside APIs, Excel files, CRMs, different systems. So I just listed a few here. After collecting that data, they clean and prepare the data set. They clean and prepare the data set. That means after doing that, they did not just believe that the data set is good to go. No, they clean and prepare the data set. Even if the data set looks neat, you need to still do your background check by checking for the duplicates, checking for missing values, checking for wrong formatting or inconsistencies. These are the background checks. So you need to fix those errors, because if you're having inconsistent data, you might have wrong analysis. And that is needed to be what? To be dealt with before you go ahead to start analyzing your data set. And even duplicates. Duplicates, in fact, can impede your analysis because they are just there hiding somewhere within the rows of your data. And if care is not taken, if you don't remove duplicates, you'll be getting wrong information, wrong analysis, your KPIs won't be right. Your trends won't be right because there are numbers that are impeding the exact number. So you need to check for duplicates and remove them. Another thing I've talked about that, analyze data. Whereby you use formulas in Excel, queries in SQL, statistics sometimes in Excel and Power BI to identify patterns and trends. Then the most, in fact, amazing part of business data analysis is what? Visualization. Oh, when you create dashboards, you create charts, you report to communicate insights, interactive dashboard, and you could see that numbers are turned to what? To charts. Numbers are turned to something visually appealing, something anyone can understand, which is one of the amazing things that a data analyst does. Another thing is that they support decision making. They help managers or team make data-backed decision, data-backed business decision. And lastly, they monitor what? Metrics, that's KPIs. They track the company's performance indicator like sales growth, churn rates, if you're working around customers' data, or profitability. So that whenever we have a dip, you realize that something is happening because every business want to keep prospering. Every business want to keep what? Maximizing profit. So that is why it is needed to monitor your metrics or your KPIs. So this is a core skill. Some are just like the part of business analyst, but look at what we have here in the data analyst core skills. One, you have the technical skill like SQL. You're going to be learning SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, analytical skills like data exploration, problem solving, pattern recognition. Yes. Then the statistical skills, when you talk about correlation, you talk about regression, probability, or descriptive stats. Then also data cleaning. Wow. Without data cleaning, your analysis is still zero because that's the most important thing when it comes to data. You have to make sure that your data is cleaned because if your data is not cleaned, trust me, you are not having that result that you want to get. You won't be having it. So data cleaning is very, very important. That's why it's one of the core skills of a data analyst. So it includes removing duplicate. I've talked about that in the previous slide, handling noise, formatting inconsistency, and many more, just to mention a few right here. Visualization skills, wow, like I said, without visuals, your numbers might not have meaning. Because if I'm a farmer now, and you want to pitch a particular solution to me, and you're just giving me numbers. I don't understand numbers. What I understand is how to till the ground, make my harvest, sell, get my money, live life. I don't know how to write. I don't know how to read. Do you understand? So for me to understand that solution you want to provide for me, you have to give me in a way that I can see, I can have a visual representation of the solution you're talking about. And that's why visualization skill is highly needed. It's very, very important. It's very, 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 very important. And there's a saying, picture sticks in the brain better than any other thing. Picture sticks in the brain better than any other thing. So if you have a picture of something, in the next 2-3 days, you still be seeing some fragment of that picture in your brain because your brain has stored it. The brain knows how to store images other than numbers or any other thing, or even voice. So business understanding, we have knowing KPIs, market trends, and company goals. Then also communication, that is presenting insight in simple, not technical terms. So these are the career path for a data analyst. These are career path for a data analyst. So as I want to know if you are still following me. If you are still following me, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, or you drop a one in the chat. If you are still following me, if you're getting this section, you're understanding what I've been saying so far. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Irabo gave me a lot of one. Okay, great one. All right, all right. Nice one. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. So, here the career paths. One, we have junior or assistant data analyst, just like the business analyst also. We have business, or you have junior business or assistant business analyst. And this, like I said, for the business analyst role, they are the entry level role, like handling data cleaning, basic SQL or Excel tags, and simple recording. We have the data analyst itself. That's the core of it, like performing what? Full data analysis, visualizing KPIs, and reporting what? Reporting across business functions. You also have business intelligence analysts. That's the BI analysts. We call them BI analysts. So they focus more on building dashboards, and they use tools like Power BI, Tableau, and even Looker. So also have data visualization specialists. So those also specialize in telling story through visual charts and dashboard or executive decision making. We have the marketing, financial, operation data analyst. We have data scientists or machine learning analyst. You can also grow to become a data engineer if you want to transition your path. Then also analytic manager, head of data or data what strategy lead. So this is how it goes. This is how it goes. So now, before I hand over to my colleague, let's talk about some scenarios in data analytics and business analysis, and let's look at how it actually works or what they actually do. So let's say an e-commerce company has a problem. Now, they have a problem. So a business analyst help to identify what the problem is. What the problem is. And the problem is what? Customer complain that other deliveries are delayed. Other deliveries are delayed. So here is what the business analyst does. Now, the problem is that other deliveries are delayed. So here is what a business analyst does. The first thing they do is what? They investigate the problem. Like, okay, let's get to the root of this problem. Let's understand why this problem. What is this problem? We want to know what the problem is. So what they do, they start talking to different what section. They talk to warehouse staffs, delivery drivers, even to the customers. Do you understand? So this is who they talk to. More than that, they can even talk to people in the production units to understand what's going on. They can talk to people that are handling customer service to know what's going on. And after doing that, they identify the cause. After investigating the problem, they now identify the cause. Like maybe the result is maybe due to manual entry, which causes dispatch delays. Maybe they need to automate some of their tasks. And after identifying that the problem is that manual entry of data. Now, what is the solution to this? What can we do to mitigate this? What can we do to stop this? What can we do to curb this issue? Is to propose a solution like automating order tracking with digital system. Instead of us entering it manually, why don't we automate our process? Why don't we just make sure that we have a system working to make sure that, oh, this has been done. You don't need to manually input this. You don't need to manually put that. Then after doing that, what another thing a business analyst will have to do is what? To now document the requirement. Document the requirement. After proposing the solution, you document the requirement. That is the BRD. So it was like, okay, what data to track, who use it, and what reports are needed. Then the fifth one is like they work with the technical team. Okay, they want to automate and be okay. This next thing is like, okay, let's build some automation. What do we need to do? So developer will now build the tracking features. So the business analyst now work with the developer team. And remember, so now the business analyst is the one standing in the gap between the customers that are complaining and the business itself. And the IT developers or the developers. Because we are trying to provide a solution. And the solution we are providing must work. Then after doing that, you have to test and implement that ensures that what the developer were able to build is working. And also, staffs are trained on how to make use of these features. Then after that, you now measure the result. Okay, after getting this solution done, what's the outcome? What's the result? That delivery times improves by 30%. So let's also look at the scenario of a data analyst. You've been able to see what a business analyst could do in that scenario. Now let's look at the scenario. Let's look at something around data analysis also. So let's also work around a problem or a scenario here. And let's say a supermarket chain wants to understand why sales dropped in the north region. So you have different regions. You have the south, the west, the east, and the north. But in the north region, there's a consistent sales drop. So why? So how will a data analyst attend to that kind of issue, to that kind of problem? The first thing is that after understanding that, okay, this is the business need, okay, we go ahead to collect the data that speak into what? Sales in another region or sales or marketing or anything. So they collect data from the sales system, inventory, or marketing database. After doing that, after collecting that data, they now clean it. Like I said earlier, they remove duplicate, they correct data format, they fix missing product IDs to now what? To make sure that data set is readily what? Good for analysis. Then after that, they analyze it. A data analyst then analyze the what? The data set is working with. Now compare the current and previous year sales. Okay, how does sales look like in the year 2024? How does it look like in the year 2023? Compare 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025, and see the difference. Has this thing actually been for, or how long have we been having drop in sales? Has it been in the past 2 years, 5 years, or how does sales look like in the past years? So these are the things that data analysts will now do, compare a year on year or month what sales. Then after that, identify which product or region has the biggest drop. So there's actually something causing that drop in revenue, causing that drop in sales. Could it be a product? Could it be that a particular product is actually not selling well in the northern part? Or could it be that we are actually not giving what the customers need from the product? Then they now examine whether pricing, promotion, or stock level affect sales. So these are things they check in the data set. So after checking all of these things, they visualize what? Their insights. They build a dashboard. It could be a Power BI dashboard, a Tableau dashboard, or an Excel dashboard, showing sales trends and regional performance. And after that, they recommend solution or actions. Like maybe, okay, this is the reason why you're having this particular drop in sales. Okay, this is what you need to do, like suggesting like restocking fast-selling products and running targeted ads and things like that. And now what they will start doing. So can you see what a business analyst will do in his own scenario and what a data analyst will also do in his own scenario as well? So we've actually come a long way. But I have a question to ask you, and I want everybody to drop an answer in the chat box. So now, if you had to choose one part from everything I've been saying since morning, data analyst, business analyst, this is what they do, this is how they act, this is the core skill, this is the kind of job they do. So if you are to choose one part to develop further, which skill set would you go for? Is it business analysis, that is understanding the business needs and strategy, or data analysis, that is interpreting data to drive decisions? So I want to see our answer in the comment section. I want us to drop our answer in the comment section. Is it data analysis you go for, or you're going to go for business analysis? So let's keep it coming. I'm expecting our response. So if you are to choose one part to develop further, which skill set would you go for? Business analysis or data analysis? All right, let's keep it coming. So now, how can you get started? So I'm going to invite my other colleague, Priscilla, to join me on the stage. Hi, Priscilla, are you there? Good evening.
Yes, hi Joshua. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, thank you so much for a fantastic session so far.
You're welcome.
Hi guys, I hope we've had a good time so far. If you've enjoyed yourself, you've had a good time in today's session, you've literally been able to figure out, oh, I want to go into data analytics or I want to go into business analysis, please leave a yes in the chat. If you've had a good time so far, I've had a good time, right? So just leave a yes in the chat if you've had a good time so far. I can see some of us dropping the career path that we're interested in. I'm seeing more of data analytics. Interesting. So Itoha is saying, I would love to work for an organization that both data analysis cuts across business analysis. Well, we might have something for you here at Analytics, right? So Irabo is saying, yes, you've had a good time. I've had a good time too. Michael, yes, as well. So guys, we're like 58 on the call. Is it just Irabo and Michael that has enjoyed the session so far? If you've had a good time, come on, just leave a yes in the chat, so that Joshua knows that he's done a very fantastic job. All right, beautiful. Keep the response coming. All right, just keep it coming. So this other alpha of the session promises to be very, very interesting for you, right? Because we've literally learned what it means to be called a data analyst, right? The skills you need and all of that, right? And we've also seen what it means to be called a business analyst. So what is the way forward? Right? Some of us are interested in data analytics. Some of us are interested in business analysis. What is literally the way forward? So Bush, I can see that you're interested in cybersecurity. So this session is basically for data analytics and business analysis. Okay, so just stick around. You might find something interesting, or my colleague would attend to you if you have questions around cybersecurity, right? So if you have questions, feel free, drop them in the chat, right? Joshua is going to be here to take a couple of your questions, right, before we call it a day. So let's get to it. How can you get started, basically? Because it is one thing to have an interest. It is one thing to be interested about being a data analyst or being a business analyst, but how can you get started? Right now, this is what I want to let you in on today. It's just, the 10 analytics secret to how you can become a full-fledged business analyst or a data analyst. If you go on LinkedIn and you search for business analyst or data analyst, you see a couple of people, but it would shock you to find out that over 90% of the people with business analyst, data analyst on their LinkedIn profile do not have the skills. They don't even have a job. So how can you, gain skills as business analyst or data analyst so that you don't need to have on your profile that you're just a business analyst or a data analyst without the skills, right? How can you get a job, right? So let's get into it. Now, you've chosen this very interesting career path, business analysis or data analytics. Those are career paths in tech. Tech is absolutely broad. Okay, so for those of us that are right here on this call, I want you to see why business analysis or why data analytics. Now, if you've attended any of our session, or if you were here at the very beginning, you'd have heard my colleague, explaining who we are at Analytics and what we do, right? And he mentioned the list of courses that we take. Here at Analytics, we are only focused on 8 different career paths in tech. Tech is very broad, right? 10, pardon me. So how come Analytics is focused on just 10 career paths? We have a reason, okay? Now, the first thing we did, to come up with these career paths, because we needed to ensure that the focus shouldn't be about teaching these skills alone. So the focus should be, how can people learn and then get jobs quickly? Because tech is really broad. So what we first of all did is called job post analysis. So we took a look at major job boards across UK, US, Canada, the major economies, right? We took a look at the job boards, right? And we're able to see the roles that recruiters are steadily looking to fill up, the roles that are in demand, right? We did our analysis. There were a lot of them. We had them somewhere. Okay, but then we had a criteria. We needed to see. Now, these roles, some of them blockchain development, front-end engineering, and the likes. But then we had our criteria. The first of them was, of all these roles, we needed to ensure that people that are coming to learn these roles do not have to go back to school to get a degree before you can easily learn, regardless of your background. Whether you're a nurse, whether you're a teacher, regardless of your background, we needed to ensure that you can get into any of these career paths easily. So the first criteria was ease of learning. The second was ease of transitioning. After you're done learning, how easy would it be for you to get a job? Then, of course, we needed to ensure that whatever job it is you're getting, it needs to pay you well. Because why are you in tech if you wouldn't be getting really paid well? Right? So these were our criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high rewarding salary. So we also needed to check now for this career path for people, in UK looking to get their skilled worker visa, for people in US looking to get their H-1B, and for people in Canada and the likes. Would this career path be beneficial to them? Absolutely, yes. So in the UK, we saw that all the 10 career paths that we have here at Analytics, they're amongst the eligible occupation for the skilled worker visa. So what this means is, as soon as you get skilled in any of these career paths, all you have to do is look for a company that has the license to sponsor, one that will give you the COS so that you can go ahead to apply for your skilled worker visa. Then in the US, you would find that these career paths that we've chosen, just the 10 career paths that we have here at Analytics, they're amongst the job titles with highest H-1B acceptance rates. Right? While in Canada, they're amongst the provincial nominee program from BC, Ontario, Saskatchewan, and the likes. Okay, so we needed to ensure that the career path we're going to focus on, they fit into this regional analysis. And we came up with 10 different career paths. And guess what? The business analysis and the data analytics are amongst this career path. This was just our analysis here at Analytics. So we needed to get an external validation. If you're a data analyst, you know what it means to also get external validation. Right? So what we did was to, take a look at a report called the Future of Jobs Report by the World Economic Forum. So I've attached a link to the report here. And if you want to access this just to read in your free time, just ensure to fill the attendance form that my colleagues are sharing in the chat, right? So just fill the attendance form so that you get access to this slide, you get access to the recording, and you can go over at your convenience and whenever you want to go over. So what is the Future of Jobs report saying? For those of us, I know that some of us on this call, we must have heard that the data analytics space is too saturated, or even the business analysis space is too saturated. But guess what? The Future of Jobs report by the World Economic Forum has something to say. Right? Now, the World Economic Forum is made up of your tech leaders, your Elon, your Jeff Bezos, and the likes. Right? And as the name implies, future of jobs. So they literally chart the future of jobs. And here's what they have to say. So for those of us that have been manipulated into thinking that data analytics is too saturated or business analysis is too saturated, this is for you, right? So according to the Future of Jobs report, it says that in the next 5 years, between now and 2030, 170 million jobs will be created, while 92 million jobs will disappear, right? And guess what? Here is a snippet of, the Future of Jobs report. To the left, you're going to find career paths that would continuously grow in demand. To the right, you'll find career paths that will fizzle out eventually. Right? And the most beautiful part is the data analyst and the business analyst, they're amongst the career path that would keep growing in demand. I mean, every single organization is looking to make their processes better. That is where the business analyst comes in. Every single organization is looking to make sense of their data. That is where the data analyst comes in, right? So for those of us that always think it is too saturated, imagine 170 million jobs will be created. And you can see, obviously, that the data analytics career path and the business analysis career path is one that would still continuously grow in demand. So if you're looking to become a business analyst or you're looking to become a data analyst, you are actually going into a career path that is not just in demand today, but one that would keep growing in demand. How beautiful can that be? Right? Now, a lot of us, you've literally decided, oh, it is business analysis or it is data analytics. So what's the starting point, literally? Right now, for some people, they just go ahead to go on these self-learning platforms and they try to gather skills from everyone and all of that. But you, by virtue of you being on this call, I want you to think strategically. You're getting into business analysis or you're getting into data analytics with the focus of getting a job. I don't just want you to see this as, just a regular webinar that you attend and you just learn the skills. I want you to start thinking strategically. You want to go into business analysis, you want to go into data analytics, you have to be very strategic about it. And how do you become strategic? It is just by having in mind what employers want from you. The goal is to get a job. So you literally have to think, what do employers even want from me? There are just two things that employers want from you: your skills and experience. This is the tech space, remember, where competence is the in thing. Without competence, you're getting nowhere. So employers just want two things from you: skills and experience. They want to know that, yes, you can do this thing. That is the skill. They also want to know that you've done it before. So as a beginner looking to transition, looking to get a job, how do you even prove that you have experience, right? This is one thing I'm going to show you right here on this session. But I want you to know, that as a beginner looking to transition, you have to be very strategic. And you have to have at the back of your mind that employers want just two things from you: skills and experience, right? Now, how do you learn the skills required to land these high demand jobs? So I've been able to show you that the business analysis role and the data analytics role is one that would continuously grow in demand. So what are the skills that you need to learn? Now, for the business analyst, I've also included here on my slide a couple of skills that you need to get, a couple of tools that you get to work with, right? Now, for business analyst, the first thing you need to learn is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Your job is to, optimize processes. Your job is to, ensure that whatever it is the technical team is building, it fits into the solution that the business needs. It fits into the needs of the business. And sometimes to do this, you'd have to analyze data a bit, right? So that is why here at Analytics, the first thing you'll be learning as a business analyst is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then you learn process mapping. You're looking to make a process better, right? You're looking to optimize that process. In order for you to make something better, you have to understand it fully. In understanding it, you get to see the loopholes. You get to see the bottlenecks that you can work on. So for a business analyst, the process mapping skill is one very important skill that you should have. And that is something you get to learn here at Analytics. Then you also learn project initiation planning as well as Agile and Scrum for projects. Now, as a business analyst, you get to optimize processes, right? And to do that, you need to understand the process and then recommend a solution. So you understand the process, you see the bottlenecks, and you go ahead to recommend a solution. So sometimes these solutions that you'll be recommending, they're projects that the company has to embark on. So when Joshua was also sharing the career path for business analysts, you'd have seen project managers. So what we've done here at Analytics is we've incorporated a bit of project management into our business analysis program. And that is solely because sometimes the solutions you'll be recommending, they are projects that the company has to embark on. And if there's no project manager, you recommended the solution. So it is only right, that you man it. So what we've done here at Analytics is to also equip our business analysts with a bit of project management skills. Then, of course, you have your core business analysis skills, software development lifecycle, requirements fundamentals, how do you gather requirements, right? Elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, as well as ChatGPT for business analysis. So if you're looking to become a business analyst, these are the things that you need to learn. Here at Analytics, the learning timeline is for 8 months, right? And it is split into 2. So you have 6 months of learning in class and 2 months of internship. Remember that you are a beginner looking to transition. So you have to be very, very strategic. Here at Analytics, during our 6-month learning in class, we have what is called the blended learning approach. With the blended learning approach, you get to gain the skills, right? You also get to gain the experience. And then you also learn at your convenience. Now, a lot of us here on this call, we have family. Sometimes you have to do multiple shifts to make ends meet and all of that. And you're looking to transition into tech. So you have to ensure that you're learning in a very flexible environment, one that will give you the ability to learn self-paced and then give you the ability to also learn in class. So during the 6-month learning in class here at Analytics, you have your live classes on Saturdays only. And guess what? Out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you only have to be in the class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays, right? Each live class is for 3 hours. Now we have the morning and the evening class. The morning class is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, which is also UK time currently for those of us in UK. And we advise the morning class for people in Europe, UK, Africa. Right? Then we also have the evening class. It is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So this is mostly advice for people in North America, Canada, US, and the likes. But whether you're in Europe, whether you're in UK, Africa, you got to choose between the both of them and you go for one. So if you work in the mornings, you can go for the evening class. But every live class is for 3 hours and you're not required to be in the both of them. So you just choose one that works for you and you flow with that class. Right? Now, apart from the live classes, remember I said self-paced. So you also need to learn at your convenience. You have work, you have family, and all of that. So apart from your live classes, you get access to projects, you get access to resources, that you can choose to learn at your convenience. For my kind of person, I like to learn at the wee hours of the morning, say 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. So if you're that person, that likes to learn really early, during your self-paced from Sunday through to Friday, you have access to resources that you can choose to learn at your time. You choose the time and you choose the place. So you see how flexible this is without encroaching into your, usual activities. You just choose the time. You could decide to do an hour a day. You could decide to do 2 hours a day. So this is how flexible the learning here at Analytics is. And these are the skills that you get to learn as a business analyst. So for a data analyst, right, what are the things you need to learn? So right here at Analytics, of course, you see the key learning areas. The first thing you need to learn is problem solving. The way that a data analyst would approach a problem is quite different from the way that a business analyst will approach a problem. So how then do you approach problems as a data analyst? There are different types of problems, positive problems, negative problems. How do you approach problems as a data analyst? What is the mindset you should have towards problems? What are the approaches? What are the techniques? Right, the various problem-solving techniques and the likes. So that is the first thing we start here. We start you here with at Analytics. You literally have to learn how to become a data analyst, how to develop the mindset of a data analyst towards problem. Right? Then afterwards, you get to learn Excel. Excel is like the bread and butter of every single data analyst. Right? Then you have SQL, structured query language. This is the language of a database. By virtue of you being on this call right now, data is being generated and stored somewhere. Database. So what if Analytics wants to see, okay, the average time that a Analytics participant will spend on a call? We need to access the database. Now, you cannot use Excel to access the database. There's only one language with which you'd access the database, and that is your structured query language. So every single data analyst needs to learn how to query a database, how to generate insight from a database. And that is where SQL comes in, structured query language. Then, of course, we have Power BI. Power BI is a business intelligence tool. Now, Excel has its limitations, right? As soon as you get to about, 30,000, 50,000 rows, Excel would start hanging. With Power BI, you're able to take care of the limitations of Excel, connect to multiple data sources, build more visually appealing reports. Then you have Tableau. Tableau is a business intelligence tool, just like Power BI. And a lot of the times for data analysts, recruiters would demand that you have either Power BI skills or Tableau skills. We're teaching you the both of them, just in case you find yourself in an organization that requires you to use Power BI, you're good to go. If you find yourself in one that requires you to use Tableau, you are also good to go. Then, of course, data storytelling. Right? Now, as a data analyst, your job is like 60% trying to generate insight. You also have to communicate those insights. For certain kind of data, if you're working with categorical data, there are certain charts that you need to use. If you're working with numerical data, there are certain charts that you need to use. And with data storytelling, you get to learn the chart that is required for each type of data. And then you learn how to communicate your insight. Your stakeholders don't care about the technicals. They don't care if you used Excel. They don't care if you've used Power BI. They just need to understand the impact of your analysis on the business. And that is where data storytelling comes in. Then you have ChatGPT for analytics. Every single tech professional needs to learn how to use generative AI, incorporate it into their workflow. With these tools that you have a lot of formulas. And as a data analyst, that is moving with the trend, you don't want to be stuck with trying to remember formulas. Or I need to combine two sheets together. What is the formula? You want to be focused on more strategic insights. such that you have generative AI there to just, oh, I need to combine. You already have a solid understanding of what you need to do. It just reminds you of the formula and you just impute it, you do your review and you go ahead with focusing on more strategic insights. Then, of course, you have Microsoft Fabric for analytics. The learning timeline, the learning duration, every single thing for the data analytics program is same as the business analysis program. Now, remember, I told you at the start that recruiters want two things from you, skills and experience. I've shown you the skills that you need to learn. Then how do you gain experience? Remember, the focus should be, how can I get a job after learning? A job, a real job, not you going to look for internship. How can you get a job? Remember, in the process of trying to get a job, recruiters would want you to have experience. But I mean, you just got done learning. You just completed your master's in public health. You decided to become a data analyst. You learned with analytics, right? And you want to apply to jobs. So how do you gain that experience? Recruiters would want you to have experience. Remember, in the tech space, it is more of show me what you have. I don't care what you did in school, right? Just show me that you've done this thing before and you've got the skills. So how do you gain experience? As a beginner, you have to be very strategic. The goal should always be, how can I get a job after learning? Okay, so the only way you get to gain experience is by working or learning in a project-based environment. So for those of us that are stuck on learning from platforms such as YouTube, Coursera, where you don't get to work on standard projects, you're not building experience, how do you intend to apply for jobs? What do you have in your portfolio? Because if I'm a recruiter and you come to me and say, I'm a business analyst or a data analyst, I would ask you, okay, what's your experience? There's only one place you go to show your experience, and that is your portfolio. What is contained in the portfolio? It has to be projects. So what this means is, as a beginner, you have to be very strategic such that you're learning in a project-based environment. So while you're learning here at Analytics, remember all those key learning areas. You're not doing theories here. The focus is on how can you get a job, and we need you to have experience. So what we have is a project-based environment. Every key learning area, you are learning by working on projects. So that is how you gain experience. Because if you think about it, the way that a mid-level staff is able to move up the ladder to senior level, it's just by the experience they've been able to gather, right? And what gives them the experience? The projects they've worked on. That is the exact same way you as a beginner coming to learn here at Analytics will be learning, right? By working on projects. And projects would give you the experience that you need. So apart from the projects you get to work on in class, right? During your internship, you also have more projects, right? Now, data analyst, business analyst, you can work in any and every industry. Say you want to become a data analyst in the healthcare industry. Recruiters would want you to have experience in that industry. So how do you gain experience in that industry? This is where your internship comes in. So your internship will be done with a company called Amdari. Right. And what they do is to give you access to real world projects across various industries. Right. So you have healthcare industry, just name it, any industry that you want to work on, you have projects in that industry. And you get to work on those projects, have them in your portfolio. Now, two platforms, Tenalytics and Dari. Okay, so Tenalytics is a company that is registered in Canada. The company you'll be doing your internship with is one that is registered in London. So for those of us that meet recruiters that are big on UK-based experience or Canadian experience, by virtue of learning here at Tenalytics, you can have both companies as your work experience. And you're confidently having them on your CV because of the way you've learned. So you have that I've worked with Tenalytics as a business analyst consultant or a contractor. You have that on your CV and you have two different work experience. Imagine a complete beginner already having two work experience on their CV, and you don't just have that there. You have that there because you can defend it. So what you have, the job descriptions that you have in your CV will be curated, right? They are the projects you'll be working on here at Tenalytics. So you have the project and their impact as your work experience. And because you've worked on those projects yourself, you've built those solutions yourself, you're able to defend your work experience any day, anytime. So for those of us that make recruiters that are big on UK-based experience, by virtue of having Amdavi on your CV, you already have that covered. That is a company that is registered in the UK, and you have them as one of your work experience. For those of us that are big on, Canadian experience, Tenalytics is registered in Canada. And by virtue of having Tenalytics as your work experience, you have that covered already. So you can see how you have UK and Canadian experience already, right? Meanwhile, Tenalytics is accredited by ACTD, the American Council of Training and Development. So you see that we're globally, recognized. Then how do you show your evidence, basically? You've worked on projects during your internship, during the learning. There's only one way you show evidence of your experience, and that is your portfolio, just like I've said. Right? So as a beginner, I've literally shown you the skills you need to learn and how you need to learn. I've also shown you two things that recruiters want from you any day, anytime: skills and experience. Now, you know that to get the skills, you need a project-based environment, right? And to get the experience, while you're learning a project-based environment, you also need to do an internship. Imagine being an absolute beginner. I mean, you were a teacher, you're a care worker, you're a nurse, and you've learned with Analytics, and you already have 2 work experience that you can boldly defend. This is what Analytics gives to you. And that is why sometimes when you hear testimonials, you hear people getting jobs before the end of the training or just after the training because they've been able to gain experience. These are complete beginners most of the time. So this is exactly how you need to learn. If you are that beginner, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a care worker, you just completed your master's and you're looking to transition, this is exactly how you need to learn. Okay, now you also need to position yourself for success. And positioning is just translating to employability skills. A lot of people will say, oh, I'm a business analyst, I'm a data analyst. But how do you stand out? It is by merging the technical skills you have, your portfolio and all of that alongside employability skills. Now, here at Analytics, in order to help you stand out, in order to help you be positioned strategically, we have employability skills. So 2 months into your training, we have what is called the CV review and revamp. And what we do, you want to apply for a job as a data analyst or a business analyst. Your CV has to be structured to suit the CV of a data analyst or a business analyst. And the first thing we do here at Analytics 2 months into the training is to provide you with a standard CV format that beats the applicant tracking system any day, anytime. So as a beginner, you have access to that format and you will learn how to structure your experience to suit the CV. It is something we'll be teaching you how to do. Now, as soon as you're done with that, you submit your CV back to us. And then our experts, our employability experts, are able to review your CV. So you get your CV reviewed and you get personalized feedback. Or if your work experience has to be better put and all of that, you would have that personalized feedback here at Tenalytics. Then remember, you'll be able to have Tenalytics as your work experience and Amdari as well. So this is what we've been able to achieve with the CV review and revamp. Then we have LinkedIn optimization. In the tech space, you have more of show me. Right? So you're looking to get a job as a business analyst, you're looking to get a job as a data analyst, but there's nothing on your LinkedIn profile. Right? Sometimes when we're looking to fill up roles here at Analytics, we'll go on LinkedIn and we search. And then we see names of people, popping up at the top and we scrutinize, we go through and we send them messages. So if you want a recruiter, maybe a recruiter in your environment and all of that, looking to fill up a role, if you want your name to pop up amongst the top searches, your LinkedIn profile has to be properly optimized. It has to carry the right keywords that a business analyst or a data analyst profile should carry. Right? Then you also need to have your work experience right there. You need to have a link to your portfolio, such that if recruiter has seen everything that they need to see, or they've seen that you have experience as a business analyst or a data analyst, they've been able to look through your portfolio, they've seen your work experience. When they are reaching out, it is, when is the earliest that we can get on a call? We have this role available. To get to that point, your LinkedIn profile has to be properly optimized. And this is what we have here at Analytics. Then, of course, navigating the job market. The focus should always be, how do I learn and get a job? Now, what we've been able to achieve with this is we teach you how to apply to jobs. I'm sure you remember the roles that Joshua, had highlighted on his screen that the business analyst can go for. Business systems analyst, business process analyst, and the likes. So how do you apply to these jobs? This is something we teach you here at Analytics, how to apply to jobs. Now, we don't just stop there. In order to ensure that you're competitive, one thing we've done is to also subscribe to premium job boards. What this implies is we've paid for jobs for you, right? Such that apart from the regular job boards you have access to, your LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and the likes, you have access to premium roles. And all you have to do is just come and apply. You don't have to pay for them. We already paid for them. Just imagine yourself a complete beginner. You've gotten the skills, right? You have a portfolio. Your LinkedIn profile is properly optimized. You have a standard CV, right? You're being taught how to apply to jobs and being provided jobs to apply to. So you can see how all of this, has to be very strategic to land you the role that you desire. Then, of course, we have interview preparation. So it is a new terrain for you. For those of us looking to just transition into tech with business analysis or data analytics, it is a new terrain for you. And when you're interviewing for a role, they'll definitely ask you to answer competency-based questions. I mean, they would ask you to introduce yourself as well. There are techniques to these things. And one thing we've done here at Analytics is if you have an interview coming up, all you have to do is come back to Analytics and say, I have an interview coming up. You book for an interview preparation session and you have an expert there to prepare you for that interview. Right? How this is done is they'll take your CV, do their research on the company, preempt the questions you're likely to get, and prepare you, for that particular interview. Then, of course, we also provide reference letters. Remember that you have Tenalytics and Amdari as your work experience. Recruiters would reach back to us to provide recommendation or reference letters. And that is something we are able to provide, something that tells of your abilities, something that tells of your time at Analytics, basically vouch for you, right? Then on the job support as well. Now, it's a new terrain, like I said, and you have a task as a data analyst. You don't know how to find your way around this. You can come back to Analytics for support on the job. Then, of course, we have weekly mentorship sessions. So in these sessions, you have people, that have walked the talk, people that have gotten jobs, absolute beginners after training here at Analytics. So they come back and they mentor you. You also have mentorship from global recruiters. You have mentorship from the co-founders of Tenalytics and the likes. You get to learn, how do you do the whole salary negotiation and all of that. These are things you get to learn here at Tenalytics. Then, of course, Upwork optimization. So for some of us that don't want to work full-time, you just want to work on contract base, make your cool cash, you get to do that on Upwork. And we teach you how to optimize your Upwork profile. Now, of all these things I've said, I know you'll be wondering, how possible are these things, right? It always seems impossible until it is done. That is why I have attached success stories right here, right? So we have somebody right here, from being a customer service rep to a business analyst in the UK. So just imagine yourself. You just completed your master's. You're currently in care and you're looking to transition. This is somebody from customer service to a business analyst in the UK. And guess what? This role came with full visa sponsorship. Right? Now, because of time, I may not be able to play the testimonial for you, but what I want you to do is keep filling the attendance form so that when you get a link to this, you can, take time. You can just listen to a testimonial. Then, of course, we have Ikmat here. Ikmat, from being a stay-at-home mom, right, to a data analyst in the UK. And this also came with full visa sponsorship, right? Then we have William here. This person was a civil engineer and he took our data analytics program. Guess what? Right now is a strategy analyst in Poland. Right? We have Judith here from being a carer in the UK to a business analyst. We have Sharon, we just have a lot of them. Abigail here from being a care worker in Canada to a business analyst with the government of Alberta. When Abigail got this role, she wasn't just working as any business analyst. She was working as a senior business analyst because she had 2 junior business analysts, in her team as she was heading the team. This is somebody from being a care worker to a business analyst with the government of Alberta. She only had to learn at analytics. She only had to key into our strategy, right? And the rest, like they say, is history. So for you on this call, what is the next step for you today? You've literally seen the trajectory. You've seen the career path, right? You can see yourself literally getting a job with the help of Analytics. So what is the next step for you today? There's only one sure next step, right? The next step is for you to join our next cohort that is coming up on the 8th of November. So we have a cohort coming up. So if you're looking to get into business analysis, you're looking to get into data analytics, we have a cohort coming up in a few weeks, and that is the 8th of November, right? Now, to the main deal, the cost of the training. So for all these things, all these beautiful things that I've mentioned to you, what would it cost to learn here at Analytics? What would it cost to have Analytics as your work experience on your CV, a Canadian company? What would it cost to have a UK-based company? What would it cost to have the interview preparation that you need? What would it cost to have the CV review and revamp, the technical skills and all of that? It is just $1,000, right? $1,000, just that. Right? But then we have a discount ongoing. So with this discount, instead of you paying $1,000, all you need to pay is $750. That is 25% off. You see how flexible we are here at Analytics. That is not even the juicy part of the story, right? The cost is $1,000. You have 25% off, such that you're now paying $750. Do you know the juicy part? That $750, you don't have to worry about paying the entire thing because you can pay as many as 5 times. Remember, it is 8 months. The learning timeline is 8 months, but you're able to still pay for this program up until the 5th month. This is how confident we are, in what we're doing here at Analytics. Right? And this is how flexible we want it to be for you. So with this 5 monthly installment, you split $750 into 5, and all you need to get started is $150 per month. So my colleagues are sharing the link to the payment platform. And what I want to do for those of us that are interested in, getting started right away and securing a discount, I want to show you how to secure a discounted slot. Right? So just tap on the link there that my colleagues are sharing, right there on the chat. And as soon as you click on the link, it brings you here. It brings you right here to our learning management system. So all you have to do is just scroll down, right? All you have to do is scroll down and look for the program you're interested in, business analysis or data analytics. Right? So say you want to go for data analytics. I'm just going to use data analytics for the sake of demonstration. So you click on data analytics and you click on buy now. Right? In very simple and easy steps. So you click on buy now and it loads up. It brings this up for you. Right? So you're able to click on enroll now. After clicking on buy now, click on enroll now. Right? Just click on enroll now and then it opens up another window for you, where you get to see the payment plans that we have currently, right? And you get to see the cohorts that we have currently and how you can key into this basically, right? So let's just wait for this to load up a bit. So all you have to do is click on enroll now. For those of us that are following through, this would have opened up already. Just wait for this to load up a bit, all right? So I don't know why it's taking some time, right? But as soon as you click on buy now, all you have to do is just come here and click on enroll now, right? This should load up. Just give me a minute to see if I'm experiencing a technical glitch and see how I can get that fixed. Right? But just click on the link. It is very simple and easy to follow. Okay, so as soon as you click on buy now, the page opens up to you, and then you're able to, click on enroll now. Right? So just give me a minute to quickly fix this up. Right. So I think we're back. Okay. So let me just keep sharing. Okay. So just give me a minute to share my screen again. So for those of us following through, I'm sure you must have been able to open up the entire thing where you've seen buy now, right? And you've also seen enroll now, right? And I'm sure you must have been able to see the payment plans that we have in play. Now we have the 5 monthly, and that is the one I spoke about. So with the 5 monthly, you're able to split the $750, the discounted $750. You're able to split that into 5, such that you're paying as low as $150 for a $750 program. To gain access, all you need is $150. So you pay $150 and you get access to the learning, you get access to your CV review and revamp, every single thing. You're not missing out on anything, right? For $150. Okay, so let me just go ahead, right? So as soon as you click on enroll now, this is what comes up to you. So you see confirm your enrollment and then select your preferred cohort. So we have a cohort starting on the 8th of November and another starting on the 6th of December. So it just depends on you and when you want to start. If you want to start in November, click on the November cohort. If you want to start in December, click on the December cohort. But the thing is, the discount applies to both of them. Whether you're looking to go for November or you're looking to go for December, the discount applies to both of them. Remember, it is a discounted slot and there are conditions to this discount. Right? So what we have now, the discount is only available, until the 25th of October. This 25% discount is only available until the 25th of October. That is in 3 days, right? So as soon as 25th is here, the price reverts back and you get to pay $1,000. So for those of us on this call, why do you want to pay, $1,000 when you can pay $750? So I'd encourage every single person on this call to secure a discounted slot, using the discounts that we have ongoing, the 25% discount. Right? So you get to choose the cohorts that you want to go for, be it November cohort or December, and then you see the different payment options. You have the 5 monthly payment, you have the 4, you have 3, you have 2, and you have 1. Right? So for the 5 monthly payment, I'll quickly show you, right? For the 5 monthly payment, like I said, you split it into 5 and you pay $150 every month. If you want to go for the 4 monthly payment, you split $750 into 4 and you pay $187.05 every month. Then if you want to go for the 3 installment, $250 every month is what you need. So you want to go twice or once, there's a further discount for you. So instead of $750, you get to pay $712.50. That is if you're looking to pay twice or once. So you see how flexible this is. So it just depends on you. Go for the payment plan that works best for you. But remember that the discount is ending on the 25th of this month. Right? So the discount is also ending on the 25th of this month. And apart from that, this discount was only open to 20 persons, right? Looking to go for the training, right? The discount is only available for 20 persons looking to go for the training. So what we're looking for right now is just 20 persons that want to get started with this $750. And as soon as that is filled up, we don't even have to wait till the 25th of October to close out on the slot. So tonight, if we get 20 people, to secure their slots, the discount is over and the price goes up. So I'd encourage every single person on this call to secure their discounted slot while you can, whether you're looking to start in November or you are looking to start in December. That being said, I'd like to take every single question that you have at this point, right? We hope that you're looking to secure a discounted slot as soon as possible. Because why do you want to pay more, when you can actually pay less? So at this juncture, I'll take every single question that you have. So if you have a question, please leave them in the chat so I can see your question and then provide a detailed response to you before, we call it a day. It's been an amazing 1 hour, 25 minutes. So I see a question iPhone is asking. I've been a carer for 2 years after my master's here in the UK. Is it advisable to add these experiences to my CV when applying for it, or just ignore it and add direct? So these are the things, that we get to cover in our employability sessions. Right? So we'll show you how to navigate this. Remember that we have what is called the CV review and revamp. So we'll teach you how to make up for this during the CV review and revamp. And as soon as you're done, putting that into effect, you send it back to us and we're able to provide you with feedback on how that, on how that will help. So these things are what we're able to cover in our employability session. So if you're registered already, you're in for a beautiful ride and you're going to have this covered. Okay, iPhone. So just rest assured, if you're registered already with us, all of this will be covered, okay? I hope I've been able to answer that. Don't stress your head about it. It is something for us to worry here at Analytics, to literally teach you how you can make up for this, and all of that. All right, so do we have any more questions? So if you have questions, just leave them in the chat. We have like 4 minutes left. Right, so just leave your questions in the chat so I can answer every single question that you have. While I'm taking your question, remember that we have over 20 people on this call, right? So if you're looking to start in November or December, you want to secure a slot as soon as possible before it gets filled up. Okay, after this October start session, when next do you intend to start? That should be in December, right? And the discount applies to November and December, just the same way I showed you on the payment platform. You can choose November or December. What securing a slot does for you is, if you were with us at the beginning of this year, this was definitely not the price of the training, the cost of the training, right? But right now it is this. So what securing a slot does for you is, just in case there's an increase in price come December, right? If there's an increase in price, you're not affected by it. You're locked in for 25%, right? You're paying $750 or even if there's no discount, you are not affected by it. So any more questions, please leave them in the chat before we call it a day. Will the LMS still be accessible after the completion? Yes, you have a lifetime access to all of your resources here at Analytics, the projects you're learning with and all of that. I mean, we have people from 5 years back that still come back and ask for interview preparation session. They still have access to their project and all of that. So every single thing that you have access to right now, if you register, it's a lifetime access. Okay, so Lydia is asking, I don't have the degree, but looking to what tech role is best for me to enter, right? So Lydia, I'm not sure you joined us at the start, but tech is very broad. Here at Analytics, we only have 10 career paths that we are focused on. And for us to help us, decide on which of the career path that you want to go into, we would need to have a sit down with you and, take a look at your experience, your work experience so far, the things you're interested in before we're able to suggest a career path. Aura is saying, can I combine with my current job? Do you mean the learning timeline, the learning schedule? Absolutely. If it's the learning schedule, you mean it is very flexible. Remember, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you only need to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays. And each live class is for 3 hours. Then you're now learning at your convenience. From Sunday through to Friday, you can decide to do 1 hour, 2 hours every day. But the main thing is learning is within your control. Right? And then you just have to be in a live class for 2 Saturdays out of 4 in a month. So you see how flexible that is, right? All right, I hope I've been able to take your questions. I found a lot. I've registered for December cohort and trying to access the elements before classes begin, but it seems the courses are locked and not available. Is there a way I can access? So you would get access to this, before the start of the December cohort, right? Not to worry, you get access to this before the start of the December cohort. I try to fill attendance. So yeah, so my colleague Lydia, my colleague is sharing the link to the attendance. Just fill that up, so you get to join our community. You also get to have access to the recording and the slides that we'll be using. So guys, let's not forget, right? The best time for you to get into tech was yesterday. The next best time is today. So if you're looking to transition, for those of us that had getting into tech, as part of our goals at the beginning of the year, this is the time for you to achieve those goals with flexibility by training with analytics, right? So we have the 25% discount ongoing. Okay, so you can quickly secure a slot for your November or your December cohort. So Lydia, is anybody else experiencing this difficulty with filling the attendance? Maybe like my colleague said, just try refreshing the web page, right? Try refreshing the web page, and I'm sure you'll be able to fill that up. So yes, it's been a beautiful 1 hour 30, right? I hope we've had a good time so far, and I hope I've been able to take every single question that you have. If you have more questions, you could just fill the attendance form, indicate that you have a question, and we'll take your question. Remember, to secure a discounted slot, don't pay more when you can pay less. All right, so this will be it for today. Thank you for joining us so far. I hope you've had a good time. I hope you're pumped, in registering for the data analytics or the business analysis program. You see how beautiful it is to get into any of these career paths. And I hope to see you come November or December. Thank you so much for your time so far. Thank you for listening in. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope you've been able to get some insights that you would need to begin your journey. So with that, we call the session, to an end. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers and bye for now.